What is going on, South by East fans, friends, and fam? Welcome back to the South by East podcast for another traffic report where we talk about the culture, the scriptures, and everything in between. John, where we headed today?
Man, bro, we are headed into this clip. I think we independently stumbled upon this clip.
Probably.
And normally what happens is this. I'll see a funny Kev On Stage clip, and I'll be like, I'm going to share this with Brail. But then I'll stop myself, and I'll say, let me check the comments first. And undoubtedly, the first person
Pure gold
that I will see that have commented on this is Mr. Brail watching himself. So I was like, well, I don't need to share this clip because Brail has already seen this clip. And in this one, this clip that we're about to see, Kev revealed the secret of the internet. That the only person that can safely post on the internet is Helen Keller. Because that's the only way.
It's the only way.
Not to offend anybody or to be offended after you post.
Or just not to know that you offended.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's the only person that's safe is Helen Keller.
Yeah.
Out here in these streets, these internet, social media streets. Please. And so let's look at the clip.
Let's check this out.
He didn't insult our child for not.
There's nothing you can say on the internet that somebody can't make negative, and there's also nothing you can say on the internet that somebody can then put words in your mouth and say something you did not say. For example, this lady posted this reel and she said, ignoring everyone who says it better be a boy this time and just praying for a healthy baby, which is, gender reveal, this and that. I just want a healthy baby. Somebody responded and said, mom of an unhealthy kid here to say that those babies are equally valuable and worthy of love. She didn't say they weren't. She didn't say that unhealthy kids aren't, worthy of love. All she said is, I'm praying for a healthy baby. Somebody else said, whatever healthy means, if it's not healthy, then your prayers won't be answered. How is ableism different from being sex selective? So you can't pray for a healthy baby no more? You can't wish for health? You can't even want health? You can't wish for it? So she said to the first lady, sending you guys so much love. And another person responded, not sure what you mean by sending her love when you just insulted her child for not being healthy.
So here's the deal. Fam, look. Here's a real life situation. Okay. So, Scent has a social media page.
Correct.
Right? Mm-hmm. We have that. Scent's social media page is about telling Scent's story.
I would expect that, yes. Often
people get mad at Scent's social media page for not telling other organizations' story.
But why would they?
For instance,
why would they do that?
We just recently shared a report around the decrease in health that has happened in our neighborhood, right? And the actual article that I wrote that we posted on our website talks about how the crime in our neighborhood has dropped over a 20-year period. Mm-hmm. It also describes the drop that has happened over a 7-year period. Now, the caption is a caption.
That's what.
It's not the full article. It's the caption.
Right.
And we talk about the impact that Sin and Fellowship Hi-Crest has had, or what we've seen in the crime rate since that has happened, since those two organizations started 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But the full article talks about a 20-year period.
Right.
And somebody responded and said, well, I got to say that this particular organization had a big role in it. And we were like, we never said they didn't. We also didn't feel the responsibility to tell that other organization's story.
John, I want to pause. I want you to tell your story, but I'm going to tell y'all rule number 17 of the internet. People don't read. That was your first mistake. Continue.
The other, so when we first started to work in the neighborhood, Brail, one of the things that we want to do is lift up positive stories about the neighborhood, find reasons to celebrate. You know, that was a key part of what we've done, is find things to celebrate all the time, because people said so many negative and disparaging things. And so we said, we're going to flood, we're going to change the narrative. That's one of our taglines. We're going to flood with positive. And over time, man, people are taking it as, well, you bragging. And we're like, no. You got to understand the key part of the transformation and development has been changing the narrative of what's coming out. And we said we wanted to share so much positive that it drowns out the negative that people tried to share, because so many people tried to share so much negative.
Right. But you broke rule number 23 of the internet. Never say anything positive about yourself or anyone else. All right, continue.
But we live, Braille, in a society that talks about this healthy self-image all the time, and about becoming yourself and all these things. And especially a certain sector of our society talks about this all the time, about the need for positive socio-emotional health and a healthy image. But I guess, does it only apply to some people or some organizations?
It does. Rule number 8.5, never have an opinion or share an opinion or give a position about an opinion on the internet. It's important.
It's bewildering at times. You know where I feel on things. A lot of times on comments, we'll see things, and my rule has always been we don't respond to stuff on the internet. We don't. And because of that, sometimes people just say, well, they must be guilty of it because they didn't respond. Okay. Because I've also seen that if people respond, then they're punching down, and they should have been mature enough just to look over it and not respond to it. Which I've seen both sides of that, and I know that number one rule of the internet is you are never right, and you can never win.
Yeah, best way to win an argument with a fool is not to argue with a fool.
And that's why I just don't play.
Yeah. And
so it is, man, I just look at it, and I see how people try to read in, well, you didn't say this, and it's like, well, there's this thing called TLDR. And I didn't know what that meant at first, so I actually had to ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, Chat.
What does
Chat
it mean?
got you right.
You know what that means, Braille?
Too long didn't read. Yeah, I know.
So here's the deal. If I know that's the case, if I try to use an abundance of words and I try to tell the whole story, also, if I try to mention everything I know about a topic every time I post, do you know that's all I would do?
Yeah.
And so I just look at it, and here's the truth. Here's a real good truth for you. For those who are my friends, there's enough room for grace. And I don't have to share every detail every time I talk.
Right.
And for those who are looking for something to find wrong, no matter what I say, no matter how I culture the talk, no matter how thoughtful I try to be, no matter how I try to shape it, there's always going to be something wrong with what I say or what I post.
Yep, always. And
I have to. And here's the deal. Here's where I've gotten. So I went through a thing a couple of years ago where I unfollowed everybody. I unfollowed everybody, and I made it to where. And I get behind sometimes, but I have to, if I want to see your stuff, I have to go out and actually look for your stuff. And then, but I know for my own socio-emotional health, I know my tendency sometimes to know who my biggest critics are. There's some people that I allow to speak in my life. I love the Brene Brown, the 1 inch, the 1 inch squad.
Yeah.
She says, put the names of the people who voices really matter in your life on a 1 inch by 1 inch piece of paper. And carry it in your wallet or your purse. And I know that's how I should operate, but there's a piece of me too, man, that I want to meet expectations. I want to do things the right way. And so I'll go out to people who I know mean me no good, and I'll look at what they're posting about us or whatever else.
Yeah.
So here's what I did, right?
It's a trap.
So here's the deal, right? It's like the addict, bro, that goes to the bar thinking this time I can go sit in the bar and have fun.
Right. No.
And it won't affect me.
It's that negativity, man. It'll get you.
And so, man, I've just started like blocking people's stuff so I can't even go search it.
Mm-hmm. That's smart.
And not because I'm mad at them or whatever else, but to protect me from me.
Yeah. Right.
And to say like, hey, this is me growing and setting up healthy boundaries in my life, and it's okay. You know what? I've had some people block me, and I'm like, that's cool. Mm-hmm. And it's a consistent reminder, man, as a leader and grow, and it's like, hey, I'm a human being, not a human doing. My value doesn't come from the organizations I lead or my performance. Here's where my value comes from. And, you know, y'all guys know I say this all the time. We're going to choose health.
Right.
And boundaries are healthy.
Yep.
And being in that place and knowing, look, I cannot manage LinkedIn. I'm terrible, bro. Like if there's any place I'm inconsistent in my life, it's posting on LinkedIn. Yeah. And I have a Facebook page. I have to interact a lot there because of the stuff we do through our organizations. I also post some personal reflections and stuff there. Some people interact with it. And I know that, man, some people are going to look at everything on there and they're looking for something. There's some people that have ill intent on there. It is what it is. And I know there's a lot of people who are cheering for us and cheering for me and our families. And they're on there and it lets them follow along in the journey. And it's there also. And it rains on the just and the unjust.
Unjust.
And so it's in this world you will have
trouble, man.
Trouble. And so it's one of those deals of knowing that's the case, knowing all those factors are there, and that the connection I have with people is still valuable enough to be in certain spaces and how I interact with people. And it's also placing the right boundaries in place for me to stay healthy. Right. And I encourage everyone to do that.
And that's a solid move, man. And you know one of my moves that Facebook taught me, I learned it in the dojo. It was formed in the darkness. And it's 2 words. Oh, okay. The okay.
Bro, you know that's
bro,
my, you know that's
I know. The
bro, okay. I learned that from King Kai.
I know. The times 10. Like the okay, bro. My boy just hit me up the other day. Somebody was talking about something and they were like, well, you're just I commented on something that had to do with music, and they're like, well, you're feeling this kind of way, and I was like, can I ask a clarifying question? What did you mean by that? Well, I meant that you said something that's completely true. I never said. I was like, oh, okay. Next thing I know in my inbox, my boy is just cracking up. He just sending it to me at the last. But it's like, man, the reason I developed that move was because I actually used to be a part of a Facebook group. It was a group of friends. We would just get together to talk about anything. We had all sorts of backgrounds and different stuff like that, but hip hop was our common denominator. And a lot of the members of this group, as the group grew, I mean, to like hundreds of people in the Facebook group and stuff, as it grew, the people who were the moderators and the administrators in the group, a lot of them were not Christians. And they weren't just not Christians. They had a history of being a Christian and had fallen away from the faith for various reasons and were very antagonistic towards the faith in that time. Mm-hmm. So I had just gotten back from Spain. I linked up with this group of friends. We're going out to eat. We're doing different things. And it got to a point as the group got bigger that every day when I would wake up, I'd go to that group and they would be bashing Christianity. People leave their brains at the door. Here's an article about how stupid Christians are. And I would defend and I'd go in and do my thing and I'd make posts. Those same people would come to my posts. Bro, why are you trying to force your Christianity? Now, these are my friends, people I hang out with. Blah, 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 going in on the internet. I'm like, now, when we in person, it's not like that. We have real conversations. But on the internet, I'm just getting heat. It got to the point, bro, where I would wake up and almost have panic attacks. But I couldn't stop checking my phone. When our announcements and stuff rolled, especially online, the song that used to play is the instrumental to a song called Be Still. Mm-hmm. I wrote that song because I would wake up with so much anxiety, feeling like I had to defend Christ. And it's like, I finally removed myself. One day I was like, I was praying. I was like, this is unhealthy. I took myself out, didn't say nothing, quietly took myself out of the group, moved, went through, unfollowed the people in there, and kept it moving. And then later on, they found me, and they were like, bro, what happened? We ain't seen you in the group in months. And I said, hey, That was unhealthy for me, so I had to step away. And some other people, I said, oh, okay. And I kept moving. I was like, that felt pretty good.
I told you, bro.
From then on, bro, that was my move.
Okay move. I've been rolling with that for so many years.
Yeah.
And here's the deal.
Okay.
I don't have to make an announcement that I'm about to block or unfriend or unfollow you. Some people will get an unfollow just because And here's the deal. Sometimes the unfollow is just, man, you're wilding out so much. And for instance, there's certain kind of pictures that get posted all the time on your page. Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to unfollow you just for my own health. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's nothing about you. Look, it's nothing about you. Nope. It's for my own health. I'm just going to unfollow you. Mm-hmm. And if it's, man, like if it's a real big antagonism toward the organizations I lead or toward me or my family, I'm probably going to unfriend or go as far as blocking you. Especially if you really cross some lines or different things of that nature. Mm-hmm. I don't have to make an announcement about it. I can just, there's a day and time where I'm like, man, I'm going to make this. I don't have to make an announcement about it. I can just do it and like move on. There's people I'll talk to like and put up good boundaries. Like there's times where I'll be like, bro, man, I feel this situation, I don't really feel safe in it, bro. I want to let you know so that if you see, there's times when I'll tell bro to Jill or I'll talk to my wife and be like, hey, this is a situation. Here's how I'm feeling around this. Right. I want to let you know just for accountability's sake. Right. And do different things. I'll move a certain way in a way to try to be above board. And so sometimes, man, that's the thing. I want to encourage, if you're a leader, here's what I want to encourage you. People are going to expect you to remain in spaces that are unhealthy for you to benefit them. Mm-hmm. Don't do it. You got to put your oxygen mask on first.
That's it. Man, and I want to clarify something about the okay. Because I know that some people are going to take that like, yes, because they have the propensity to be petty. Okay is not about being petty.
Yeah.
Okay is when people say, that's just how I am. We talked about that on another episode. When people say, that's just how I am. Okay is, I've recognized where you are. Through your conversation, through your comments, through what you said, I recognize where you are. Okay means I'm all right leaving you there, and I don't have to be here.
I have another one for you. Mm-hmm. God told me.
Oh, okay.
You know, here's on staff, on our staff, my team knows this. If somebody says, well, I prayed and God told me this, or the Spirit told me this, I'm not going to argue with you. Because I'm not going to be found arguing against God. And so that right now, you have left me with no room to speak in if you say that to me.
If it's of God, it'll last.
And you know, that's not, why, that's the
crumble.
Verse, you know, I say, look, I'm going to step away from this, and then we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. And now, I'm like, so the okay is, hey, you know what, we might see this different, but Paul speaks about that different, where you differ with somebody, like pray for them, and God will reveal. And that's, man, sometimes it's so sad. Yeah. Because you can see where this train is running. And you're like, man, look, okay, I gotta let you know what? You have the freedom to make that decision.
Yeah. And the internet is a different type of animal too, because there have been psychological studies about Facebook, social media, and they say that people operate on social. Most of the time we hear someone's filtered voice, but on social media, often what you're hearing and seeing from people is an unfiltered voice. It's like people are drunk. It's drunk drivers all over social media. And so when people speak, a lot of times on social media, it's like, hey, when someone has entered into this conversation, do they want to have a conversation or do they want to make a point? When I realize someone wants to make a point, I'm like, well, that's all we need to do. You've made the point. It's here. forever. It's there. Okay, so if there's no conversation to be had, then there's no reason for me to give that my energy when that's not really the purpose of this interaction.
There's a difference between authenticity and being unfiltered.
Okay, I want you to speak to that. I agree with you, but I think
because here's the deal. You can be unfiltered and be unwise in what you share and how you share. Yes. You can be authentic and still be thoughtful.
Yes.
In how you communicate. Being authentic does not mean being hurtful or being immature.
Cooking right now.
You can be authentic and be mature and be helpful and encouraging at the same time.
Yep.
And like you don't have to come unhinged to be authentic.
Yeah.
To be real.
There's another thing about that too, of being unfiltered. Scripture tells us who knows how bad the heart really is. Like, everything that comes into my mind doesn't need to be shared, and I don't want it to be shared. Fam, if I get really, just the other day, I got really upset at somebody for something because something hadn't happened, there was a miscommunication. I was super mad, hot, told some people that were close to me, here's where I'm at, here's how I was wrong. As we worked through the conversation, there was an issue, but it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was after I had gone in and asked questions. Had I gone to social media and shared my unfiltered thoughts and feelings, I would have caused a lot of extra damage and hurt that didn't need to be done. Like, that didn't need to happen. For one, I was wrong. For two, even if I was right, how I felt in the moment did not need to be put into words that were shared. It would have been completely unhelpful. The next day, I feel a whole lot better. Even if the situation hadn't changed, I'm not going to feel the same way about it. So being unfiltered is different from being authentic. Being authentic is, I've processed this and this is really where I am. And this fits in with the values that I have for my life. Being unfiltered is allowing my emotions to guide all of my communications regardless of the damage that's done.
So there's sometimes when you have a candid share, but I would venture probably 80% of what you communicate needs to not be a candid share. Here's some of our normal rhythms, just to kind of give you a peek behind the scene. When it comes to our social media, a lot of times we'll get people to reach out to us and say, can you share this? And we'll say, we actually can't. And the reason we can't share it is because we actually prepare all of our social media posts a month in advance. Mm-hmm. And there's things that happen. Man, it has saved us so many times where something has happened where we're like, oh, we need to change that.
Yep.
We shoot multiple podcasts at one time and then leave a buffer before they get shared. Right. I always encourage, like, so for our sermon prep throughout the week, we want everything in on Thursday. You have time, man, even for the Holy Spirit to speak in between Thursday at noon and Sunday, and just letting it sit. We have these buffers that happen. A lot of times, my team will get I call it a fresh start. They get a video from me in the mornings, but I've actually filmed that ahead of time, not the morning of. And so there's time for it to sit on that before it gets delivered. And man, there's just something about having that. When it comes to when somebody joins our staff, we wait 6 months now to post them on our social media. There's a buffer in that, and there's some wisdom in that everything doesn't have to go right away. There can be a buffer on some things. There can be a cushion to allow some things to settle. And then sometimes some things happen where you're like, oh man, I'm really glad that I didn't feel the need to be capricious and just act right away on that. And
the truth don't go out of style, man. I've been trying to tell some people that when it comes to music. I'm like, hey, if we got a really great song, it's gonna be really great in a month. No, we don't want to. Time matters, right? We don't want to wait a year. But I'm like, we got a really great song. It's gonna be really good in a month when we can drop everything right, just like it'd be really good right now. It's like, let's let it let's let it settle. And if we're just caught up in the moment and this isn't as great as we think it is, it won't make it through that process.
Yeah.
That part is important too.
Yeah.
But where are you guys at, man? How do y'all feel? Take the challenge, man. Is there anything you can say on the internet that no one will critique? Because it sure ain't happy. It ain't Merry Christmas. It's not Happy Birthday. It's not Happy July 4th. Those are all off the table. Happy Thanksgiving. Now you're disrespecting the motherland. So I don't know what it is, but maybe you do.
And here's the deal. Rule number 99, you cannot post food that you cook at your house because people will also feel like you're living too well.
Or they might just show up for a plate. Man, but let us know how y'all feel, man. Jump into the comment section. We've been enjoying these conversations we've been having. Would love to have some more with y'all out there. Like, follow, comment, subscribe, all those great things on all your favorite podcast spots and social media spots where we get posted. And we'll see you next week
in the intersection.